Alright, so I just made a video for like 9 minutes and then it just stopped for no reason. Happens a lot if you've watched my past videos. Yeah. No, we in the 2020s, and you can't make videos without it just abruptly stopping for no reason. And with like, $500+ phones. Anyways, okay. Depression, PTSD. Talking about my struggles with depression and PTSD. Alright. Um, it's not funny, but sometimes you just gotta laugh. Okay, now, I spoke on social media with you guys about, wanting to be more open about this because, I feel like you guys have a right to know. Also, like, it's easy to misunderstand me, how I come across, how I am at points and times. And without understanding what I'm going through, you're just gonna misunderstand me. So, uh, I am struggling with PTSD badly, like really badly. There's this notion that like veterans struggle with PTSD, and it's true. You go to war and you come back and it screws you up in a lot of cases, depending on a person's physiological makeup and other factors, just how severe trauma was. But it's not limited to that. It's not limited to that. And I had a lot of abuse growing up as a child. Explicit content warning, I suppose, by the way. When I was growing up, I had a very abusive mom, father, brother. My mom was physically abusive to me for being sad. Like, whenever I'd be sad, like any child, normal child, gets sad sometimes. A normal child, any normal child, they get sad sometimes. And my mom, though, she had her own issues, and she would physically abuse me. She would like whip me with belts. She would like slap me, punch me, depending on the situation, and and it was just bad, man. My mom was abusive to me for just being myself. My dad was abusive to me. My mom ended up getting taken out of the family through child ACS, Child Protective Services, for hitting me one day, and my dad called the cops on her. My dad was no better, to be honest. In fact, he was probably worse. My dad ended up taking over, and he was abusive to me for like whenever I'd be angry or just a whole slew of different issues. He would be abusive to me, and it was bad. We were always fighting, and that was just very damaging to me. My brother was abusive to me. He would like, I don't know what happened to him, but my brother was like kind of, I think he's a narcissist, to be honest, or he's at least narcissistic. And my brother very much narcissistically abused me growing up. My 1-year-old older brother. We're close to the same age, but he was crazy. He was kind of crazy and would punch me. He almost took my eye out multiple times. Anyways, not to go into detail. My dad got mad one day and took my brother's gerbil and chucked it on the floor, and me and my brother watched in horror as the gerbil bled to death, screaming and squeaking as it just bled to death on the floor. I suppressed that memory growing up until recently. Realized I remembered, and it was so traumatic that I blocked it out of my memory. Fast forward, my dad ended up kicking me out. I ended up being taken in By the way, my daddy, he kicked me out illegally, I'm pretty sure, because he made something up to the court, in court, said that I was like out of control, and somehow, even though I never was told that I was being evicted and never had the chance to defend myself, I just abruptly one day the court marshal came and was just like, you gotta go, you're being evicted. If you don't leave, we're calling cops. And showed me the paperwork and everything. And I was just at 19 years old while I was still in high school. I was kicked out. So yeah, as you can imagine, the abuse was pretty insane. And like, just like, yeah. So I ended up being taken in by this sick person. And this sick person, I don't want to go into detail, but it was an old friend of my mom's, like older, like 60-year-old woman, whatever. And she was just like, I'm pretty sure she was also a narcissist, kind of like my brother. She was certainly like had some kind of mental illness going on. She used to speak to like the ghosts of her dead relatives, she would tell me. And she was just didn't have respect for my boundaries, was always poking me in my space while I was trying to meditate, would eventually go crazy on me and slam doors and all this stuff. And while I was going through all of that, while I needed help, I needed more help than I ever needed in my life, people were like, Kaizer, you fucking son of a bitch. How dare you? You brought this on yourself. Like, it's, like imagine a rape victim. I wasn't raped, but imagine, like, I'm using this as an example. Imagine a rape victim who, like, is reaching out. They just need some people to put their hand on their shoulder and be there for them, and support them. And imagine the person like that, everyone telling them, you weren't raped. How dare you? You are a son of a bitch. Like, imagine that. Like, that's what that's kind of what it was like. It was like I was being abused. I was healing from trauma while being abused in the most sensitive part of my life. And everyone around me was just like, F Kaizer. You son of a fucking bitch, Kaizer. Kaizer, how dare you? Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I ended up getting evicted. That person, as soon as I started standing up to myself and being like, you can't talk to me this way, you can't treat me this way, she was like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna evict you. And she evicted me. And I ended up becoming homeless. And that was traumatic in and of itself. I was abused by shelter staff. Horrible place. Racist. But was like, people were saying, a whole bunch of type of people in there were like, they want to kill white people, and every time they see me, they want to kill me, and this, that, and the third. It was traumatic. I was abused by the shelter staff. They were like, how like the person the sick person I ended up living with, who would always poke me and stuff, and would slam doors whenever I try to meditate, like boom, 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 boom. And that prevented me from connecting with my soul. Well, the shelter staff ended up doing that to me too. Like they would, I'd be sleeping, right, in the morning, and they would like boom, 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 like bang on the locker really loud in an abusive way. It was horrible. And all of that just made everything that I was going through worse. To the point where it literally gave me PTSD. Like, actual clinical PTSD. Like, I was diagnosed by multiple psychiatrists. Like, I have PTSD. And so, I finally overcame all of that. I found a way out. And, even though now I'm kind of like trying to put all that behind me, now I'm in a situation where I can finally work on my music. I can finally post videos more frequently. I can finally live my life, have rich relationships. I'm like, now it's like I'm being blocked from all of that due to the trauma that just haunts me every day. like PTSD. It's screwed up. Like, it's screwed up because, like, I did everything I needed to do to overcome all of that. Most people would have died or killed themselves or went crazy and ended up in jail in the situation I was put through. I held on, I like prayed to God, and like I didn't give up, like and even though I did everything that I was supposed to do, now here I am, and I'm just like haunted. I'm haunted. And it's tough because I can't sleep normally. My sleep schedule is totally screwed up. As I may have watched previous videos where I talked about my sleep issues. I can't sleep normally. Like loud noises trigger me, make me break down, because it's, remember, like that person slammed the doors constantly. The people in the shelters slamming, not like banging on the locker, and all this stuff going on, like, and it's like I can't function. I can't function. And I've been fighting my whole life to just come back to myself and to show you guys who I am, like my soul, my energy, boom, like in an authentic way. And it's like I finally am there, but now like I'm just crippled, you know? And with the PTSD comes naturally like major depressive disorder. I'm just depressed. Like I want to like connect with people, like romance, relationships, friendships. Like I've always been passionate about women, like beyond what I can express. And like I haven't been able to like have like relationships with women due to all of this, like this PTSD I'm going through. Like, and also a lot of that is also the result of living in NYC, which I'm realizing is like the dark triad capital of America. It's like, it's the top 5 places highest in psychopathy. There's an actual study that was done. Like New York is like number 4, I think. And so literally this is just the city of Machiavellians and narcissists and psychopaths. And so like I'll be trying to speak to people, even, you know, in the condition that I'm in. I try to maintain it in the different ways that I can. I prioritize health, and I do what I need to do to, you know, keep myself leveled as much as I possibly can, at least. And I'll be like, hey, trying to speak to people. And people are crazy here and disgusting and like screwed up. And like women will be like, don't fucking talk to me. Sexual harassment, I'm gonna call the cop. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And that's a lot of, I'm realizing that's a lot of what gave me PTSD too, and depression, and maintains it. Like, is just straight up living in New York City. Period. And so I know I need to be making more music. I'm currently, as I mentioned, I'm working on a project, but I'm really being delayed with it, and just the frequency of my videos has gone down a lot. And it's because I'm really having a hard time. I'm really having a hard time mentally, emotionally, physically, physiologically, neurologically. People don't understand. Some people think I'm aloof, weird. I'm not a weirdo. Like, I'm not a weirdo. I'm just battling severe, like, trauma. Plain and simple. Like, people who think they know me, you don't know me. Because anyone who really knows me, they always say how amazing I am. I'm a lovable person. I'm a person filled with light. Like, I'm down to earth, charismatic. Like, people who speak to me will be like, you're vastly much more intelligent than I thought. Like, that's what people say when they speak to me. They're like, damn, like, I did not realize how intelligent you are. Like, I'm an intelligent, like, bright individual, like fundamentally bright, intelligent, and amazing person that people just, like, revere. but it doesn't show normally. Like, I'm making these videos, it doesn't come out normally. It comes out a little bit as you start to, watch my videos, and you follow the patterns. You start to see this, you start to understand me. But even then, I'm like, my light doesn't really come out like that. And it's because I'm carrying all this trauma that's weighing me down, and it's making it hard to like engage with me. It's making it hard to like give me a chance. It's making it hard for you to like watch me, listen to me, and be like, it's Kaizer. Oh, Kaizer. The people, it's a very small amount of people that recognize like who I am, how I am, and can see beyond like my struggle, my PTSD, and they get me, and they're willing to tolerate me, like, despite low energy and like my tendency to like waffle and ramble, like, but that's just a very small amount of people. And most people, they're just like, wow, this is annoying, I can't watch this. And I understand, but think about me. Like, I'm an amazing person trying to speak to people, trying to help you heal the world, trying to do what I love, trying to make a difference, and like on that level, like Michael Jackson. And it just won't come out normally because I'm haunted. It sounds kind of like awkward for me to say, but I gotta just be real. I'm haunted. Like, I'm haunted. Like, I'm disturbed, like, mentally, psychologically, because all this stuff that I went through, child abuse, my mom beating the shit out of me as a child, my dad beating the shit out of me as a child and teenager, my brother just hating me with all of his guts and trying to like character assassinate me growing up, and all this stuff I went through, and it just never ended. It never ended. I was taken in by this sick person, brutally abused me, like, psychologically and emotionally. I had a friend who passed away, killed himself, and that was like a close friend of mine. And all this stuff, stuck in homeless shelters, stuck homeless on the floor in the rain, fighting for my life, fighting for my rights. And people don't realize, like, most people, they don't survive that. It's one thing I went through childhood trauma, but then grew up and tried to put it behind me. That's what my plan was. That's what my plan initially was. But it didn't pan out that way. It got worse. Things got significantly worse for me. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because I really deep down wanted to be like a legend, and things had to get significantly, like, crazy, like batshit, like ultimate crazy, crazy in the ultimate way, in order for me to get through it like a crazy motherfucker, and then that was how I was gonna fulfill my legacy. I don't know, but that's how it panned out for me. My life, people don't understand. My life it's like a horror story. I hate to say it, but my life is very much like a horror story. And everything that I told you in this video, that's only like a smidgen of what I went through. I'm leaving a lot of stuff out. A lot of details out. Like, I went through much worse. I went through a lot worse than that. For example, like, I had a best friend, and like, dude, he ended up being gay. I didn't know he was gay, and he fell in love with me, and like, it got weird, and I couldn't be his friend anymore. Not because he was gay, but because of how everything transpired. Like everyone that was ever close to me was either abusive to me, or something weird happened, and it just And so people think they know me. Like, remember that gay friend I was telling about that ended up falling in love with me just now? Like, like, people thought I was gay growing up, and I'm starting to realize, like, a lot of the reason why I think people thought I was gay was because I didn't realize that that my friend who happened to be gay, who was, like, my best friend, he was, like, his mannerisms, I think, rubbed off on me. And literally how I would sometimes express myself, I wouldn't realize I was expressing myself kind of like him, because you know how they say you're like the top 5 people you spend the most time around with. I didn't realize I was probably like exerting myself kind of like him, and people probably, that's why part of why people thought I was gay, probably. Like, people think they know me, but you don't. You won't know me until you, in real life, sit down and speak with me, and then you're like, damn, this dude is a genius. And even then, like, the trauma, like, it gets in the way. Like, I was mentored for a short period of time by this guy named Mark Christensen. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He was an engineer for 50 Cent and, like, everything, and, like, Justin Timberlake. And he himself, I would have PTSD issues. Like I was just, like, struggle around him while he was mentoring me. And I remember one time he even was like he said something like, my thoughts are all jumbled up, like because, like, sometimes, you know how I waffle due to the PTSD. He literally was like, your thoughts are all jumbled up, da 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 da, and, like, he won't even speak to me anymore now. It's crazy. This video is about to end in a minute, so I'm just gonna wrap up by saying, yeah, man, like, all the people I ever tried to reach out to, Ty Lopez, Mark Christensen, like, I can't, I'm just struggling, bro. People don't get me. People think I'm crazy, and I'm not. I'm struggling healing. I'm trying to heal from trauma, and I finally do feel like myself. Enough time. I've gotten the chance to have enough time away from all that abuse, to now where I finally feel like myself, and I can communicate, like, how I am. Kaizer, yo, what's up, Kaizer? But now I'm just crippled. And I want you guys to understand it. Because, and please be patient with me as I work on music and making videos, because I'm really, I need your support as I heal and, overcome all of that trauma. And so, thank you.